Uh,
Record this meeting. Sorry.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar, Importance of Positive Wellbeing. And my name is Priya Verma. I'm a counseling psychologist and a research scholar. I am the moderator for today's webinar. So I would be introducing Kailash sir to introduce our platform Backup and who is organizing this webinar. So Kailash sir, please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone out here. Welcome to you for this webinar. Backup is an online mental and emotional wellness counseling platform. I come from an IT background. I'm in class of 1980 BITS Pilani. And I've been working in IT infrastructure solutions for past more than 35 years. This particular startup, which is backup.in, is working towards mental wellness of people. And the concept of this particular platform started, as you know, that there is a IIT preparation hub quota out here in Rajasthan, and lakhs of students take coaching there to get admission into IITs. But unfortunately, those who are not able to make to IITs, they succumb to depression and anxieties, and there are a lot of suicides which are happening, over the past couple of years. And with that, we thought of giving some thought to it, that why not educate them to come out of this depression. And there are so many other opportunities other than IITs. IITs is not the end of life, and that's where we conceptualize this thing. And as you have seen, since 2020, we are all being part of this pandemic, which is seems never ending, because now first and second wave is already been experienced by all of us. And fortunately, those who are survivors are now looking for a stabilization. But unfortunately, again, we have this Omicron virus coming in and threatening us for third wave. So the stigma onto the things which are caused by these pandemic situations are not likely to end very soon. And that's where we see addition of these depression things into youth, and in almost all sectors, right from these pandemic times, more than the career opportunities, because of career opportunities that we saw in past 2 years. So overall, if I see today, there is a need of mental wellness and emotional wellness coaching. And even for the people who are struggling with that career, we need a career coaching, so that they are able to lead their quality life and move ahead. So with this objective, we have started this platform called backup.in. And we have onboarded qualified and experienced and certified psychologists and life coaches out here. And out of those professional team members only, we have a couple of members, including Priya, who are organizing this particular webinar for you. So part of the counseling and the other activities of Backup is awareness activities. And that's where we are today. To make people aware as to how important it is to take care of your positive well-being, and that's precisely the topic for today. I will request Priya to take over for further proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, Kailash sir, for sharing the insight and the vision of Backup, for which we have gathered today. And we would be discussing the positive well-being, why positive well-being is important to us, and why this importance of positive well-being has been highlighted even more in the pandemic. And we would be discussing positive well-being not just as a concept, but also what consists under the concept of positive well-being. Along with that, we would be discussing how do we enhance our positive well-being, and we would also be doing with the help of some activities which our speakers would be helping you all with the activities, and to learn these activities, so that after this webinar you are able to take away some learnings and apply them in your day-to-day life. So before we proceed, I would be introducing our speakers. First off, those is Spurti Devata. Spurti is a counseling psychologist and a career counselor. She is trained in CBT and graphology. Welcome, Spurti. Our second speaker for the day is Parvati Ramakrishnan. She is a psychologist, positive psychology coach, and career counselor. She is trained in CBT and Gestalt therapy. She is also an associate member of APA. We welcome both of you, and I would request Spurti to take over and begin with her presentation.
So thank you, Priya, and thank you, sir, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to participate in this webinar and also host this webinar. That is the topic of importance of positive well-being. And also the participants who have participated here because they have taken out their valuable time and to listen to this webinar. So I request all participants to participate as much as possible because it will be a growing opportunity. It can be a learning opportunity for all of us, and also it can be fun and exciting. So I'll just go with the presentation. So you can share, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So first we need to understand why there is an importance of positive well-being. So I just want to ask you one question. So why do you think there is a need for importance of well-being? If anyone want to participate, they can.
For being efficient and productive in life.
True. I agree with Shilpa, and yeah, so according to me, I feel like well-being is something where we need to understand, like we need to create peace within ourselves and also harmony with others. That will not only help us to being to become intrinsically motivated, and also we will try to step forward. We'll also try to help others in some or other way. So this is what importance of positive well-being refer to. This is an introduction part which has been given and taken care by Priya. So yeah, we will be focusing on four most important components of positive well-being that include self-compassion, optimism, gratitude, and mindfulness. So you can see this picture, right? What do you infer from this picture? Be gentle with yourself. So anyone would want to tell, or shall I proceed further?
It means sometimes we are hard with ourselves, so it is asking us to be gentle with ourselves.
Right. So we can say that gentleness can be a part of compassion. So I'll just give a simple example here. Suppose let us assume that there are three persons, A, B, and C, and he has some kind of emotional disturbances because she had recently had a breakup with her boyfriend. So she starts venting her all her feelings to B and C. And B comes to her and start treating her like as something, you are a loser, you should have only put the effort. But on the other hand, C comes and she starts listening here, show empathy towards her. So whom do you think who is more gentle to her? So of course C, right? So what does it refer? It does means like we are trying to be compassionate with her, and also when we try to show this compassion towards oneself, it becomes self-compassion. So what does self-compassion refers to? So it refers to understanding, acceptance, and love in word. It's like we need to understand these feelings of understanding, acceptance, and start practicing in such a way that we can be internally motivated, we can internally learn a lot of things. So yeah. Also, we need to understand that self-compassion is not an act of self-indulgence. Because self-indulgence refers to something we try to do for letting it go. But self-compassion is not like that. We need to self-compassionate for a longer time. We need to strive for happiness for a lifetime. So that is what self-compassion refers to. So I'll give an example of self-indulgence here. Like it usually works on pleasure principle. I would say like I decided that I need to be kind to myself. Therefore, I start watching or I'll start binge watching the TV. So this is not being kind to oneself, but you are seeking pleasure. We can say that to some extent it can be beneficial, but when it becomes high, then it can be dangerous. And we also need to understand that self-compassion also help us to relieve many mental health concerns such as anxiety and also insecurities that we face. And this is the most important topic, I find it, because although there's quite to be quite similar, self-esteem and self-compassion, although both focus on receiving the sense of self-worth, self-perceived value, or how much we like ourselves. But we need to understand that self-esteem is based on how much we are different from others. That in turn makes us to compare with one another. So, okay, we tried how much it focuses on how much we stand out or are special. It is not okay to be average, or we have to feel, in order to feel above average, we need to start doing something so that we others might feel very special for us. We strive for subordination or dominating, I would say. So self-compassion, on the other hand, self-compassion is not based on self-evaluation. They People feel compassion for themselves because they deserve compassion and understanding, not for some particular traits, but yeah, for greater self-clarity. It is based on more of interrelatedness rather than separatedness. It involves empathy towards understanding each other. So yeah, this is another component that I would like to focus here, that components of self-compassion, as I am repeating again and again, is like we need to be self-compassion not when we are happy or when we are in peace, but also when we suffer, fail, or feel inadequate, rather than ignoring our pain or dealing or self-criticizing ourselves. This is the other one which says that common humanity versus isolation. First, let us take the previous example itself. Like, what will be the situation of A at that time? What kind of thoughts they would be when I told that she was having a breakup? So her thoughts may be like that. Is like she's not she might feel like I am only the sufferer. Why only God punishes me? Why all the things happen to me? But self-compassion helps us to understand that human beings are mortal. Therefore, sufferings are common to each and everyone, irrespective of their race, culture, and everything. Every person would have some or other kind of problems. That's why it helps us to understand the acceptance of other problems as well, with a lot of empathy and also compassion. That's why it believes on the concept of sharing is caring. Another one is like mindfulness versus over identification. So, just mindfulness is a non judgmental, receptive mind state in which we try to observe our thoughts and feelings as they are instead of being surprised and suppress them, or making them to become our daily life things. So, it is something we need to understand here is like the thoughts that we usually come when we are in pain or suffering, it should not judge us, but instead we should start accepting those thoughts so that we can grow again and again by accepting those challenges in our life. Yeah, now I request her to organize backup room for.
So let's define, Scooty, what are they supposed to do in those breakout rooms? I'll create
Yeah, sure. I'll just help you out. So this is an activity based on how would you treat a friend. So I request, what happens is like in a breakout room, or you need to be ready with a sheet of paper and answer the following questions. It's like first you need to think about times when a close friend feels really bad about him or herself, or is really struggling in some way. So what will be your responses in that situation, especially when you are at best? And also write down the points like what typically you do, what you say, and also the tone in which you typically talk to your close friends. This is the first situation. And second situation is like you need to start thinking about times when you started feeling bad about yourself or are struggling. So how would you respond to yourself in those situations? And also write down what you typically do, what you say, and also note down the difference in which you talk to yourself. Third concept is like, if you did you notice a difference? If so, ask yourself why. What factors or fears that came into play that lead you to treat yourself and others so differently? And also, the fourth one is like also write down the things you might change if you responded to yourself in the same way you typically respond to your close friend when you are suffering. So this is what activity refer to. I think this is quite self-explanatory. So all people could get it. What is the activity about? Or should I explain it once more?
So are they supposed to discuss within themselves in those breakout rooms, or they have to write down?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They need to discuss within the rooms. Then later, anyone from the group can answer to all these questions. Like, what were their problems and how did they come? What was the differences they found?
Okay, so we'll keep these two slides on. If possible, everybody would be able to see these, and I'll create three rooms, and there will be four participants in each room. And
Sure,
you
sir.
decide one of you to be a leader, and you discuss out onto these as to what could be the possible scenarios and what could be the possible things. The room will be open for, I mean, it will be broken for 5 minutes, and within 5 minutes you can possibly discuss around and come to your answers and put them onto a paper, and then one of you can present when rooms reopen and come to the mainstream. Is that okay? Is that okay, Spurti?
Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
So just creating
Sir, or can you do one thing since you have a group broadcast group? Why don't you send a screenshot of this self? So that will be more beneficial for them.
okay, just let me try that. Just a second. First, let me. Okay, put on to the second slide. The next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a second. Okay, so in the current situation, I think let me check. Recreating three breakout rooms and assigning, and yeah. So I'm opening all the rooms and sending these two captures to the broadcast list. Okay. Just a second.
So we need to give 5 minutes time for each of them, right?
Yeah, that is already allocated, and I've already given this captures of these two our team, and I'll be flashing it to the broadcast list as well. Just a second.
Okay.
मैंने ड्राइव करते करते ज्वाइन किया है, तो आई वोंट बी एबल टू पार्टिसिपेट इन द रूम. I'm listening.
Okay, so I've broadcasted both the slides. You can discuss within your room and jot down the answers, possible answers, and then when the room reopens, after 5 minutes, you can present.
Okay.
So,
So why these two people are not here, like Bahadur Singh and also Shilpa Sharma?
so these are the people in this room. So that is why they are only visible.
Okay, so
We are in the same room. That is why you are able to see possibly. And Shilpa, Parvati, so all of us are in the same room. Now we have to actually do this exercise.
okay. So we can discuss, right? So let us go into the first slide. Are you able to see my screen, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So what does it say is like first we need to think about a close friend who was really bad about him or herself and or is really struggling in some way. So would you like to note it down?
Yes. So we can, I think, note it down, listening to everyone, and then maybe common points we can put across. So we can start with Bahadur Singh ji. Bahadur Singh ji, what do you say? What do you have to say about it?
So I'm driving. I'm not able to read the slide.
No,
I can
no
only
problem,
hear
no
things.
problem. So, Urja, can you comment on this?
Yeah, definitely.
No
But
problem.
I'm not able to read it.
So we will, when you come into the room, you will be able to know the opinion of others. No problem. You keep driving. And Parvati, sorry, Urja, can you just throw your light, throw your points?
Hello. The first point.
Yeah.
When a close friend feels really bad about him or herself, is really struggling in some way. How
You
would you
try to help
respond to
him out, I think, the best you can.
Yeah, sure. So it's basically an activities like where we start thinking about a close friend who was really suffering from bad times. So how did you give a form of support to her? How were you compassionate at that time to her?
I think the first thing is that rather not giving any opinions and suggestions, first listen what's going on. Then understand the situation, that whether it's a right, I mean, whatever they are saying is it's a one-sided story or two-sided story. Look at all the, give a give a thought to all the possibilities which can be, causing the situation. But rather at that point of time, listening to the friend or the client or anyone is very important. And after that, while listening, you can make a mental note, or if you are seeing a client, you can always make a physical notes. And once they have done explained, you can always cross check with them that this is what they have explained. And then the other perspective also you can give them, that this could be the one thing. Second, showing compassion in a way when they are sharing, you can always, respond with, right, I understand, I get it, it is difficult, it is traumatic, or whatever the situation according to what they are sharing. You can give your
Exactly.
response in between, so they feel that they are heard. And somebody is there who's care, like you can say, I care, I get it, I'm here for you, I'm listening. So I think this would
Thank you.
help.
We'll have to
Right.
quickly move because the time is over, and let's move on to the next one, which is now think about times when you feel bad about yourself or are struggling. So you can have Parvati, your point also here, since you are in this room. Parvati, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Quickly add to the point, and then we close the room. We'll
Uh,
close the breakout.
yeah. So, yeah. So I would basically tell myself that it's okay. It's okay to be having some problems. It's fine, but it's not going to be a very permanent problem. It's going to change in due course of time. So, I would think rather in a more positive way and try to be a more kind about myself by soothing myself, by telling more soothing words towards myself rather than criticizing or being harsh towards myself.
Okay, so I'm closing the room so that we can all come and then have the opinion from others. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, and everyone can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So I'll just find out, okay, what was the notice? What did you find a difference? Okay, what was the notice of difference you find when there was a comparison of you and yourself being compassionate to oneself? Anyone would like to
Anyone of
respond to it?
the leaders, you can ask Scooty to speak on behalf of the others. So from our room will come later because both of you were there, and rest two rooms, let one each from each room can explain.
Yes, yes. So Rajshri ma'am, can you explain what did we discuss?
You go ahead. I'll add on.
Okay. So we discussed that sometimes when we are speaking to our friends, we are more compassionate and available, empathetic. But when it comes to us, we get hard on ourselves. So we could be more emotionally available, present, and compassionate toward us, like the way we are for our friends.
Yeah. So it's like you can find a lot of difference, right? When you start treating yourself and when you start treating others, right? So we need to treat ours. So why not we treat ourselves as the same way when we treat our friend too? So this is what activity basically focused upon. So I think this was quite a good activity and it made you to self-aware to an extent.
Surely.
So
Let us move ahead.
yeah. So now we let us understand what are the advantages of self-compassion. As I was telling you, it increases motivation. It makes us internally motivate to do something because until and unless we are internally motivated, we can't do the external task as well. Sometimes I understand that extrinsic motivation can act as it, but we also need to understand like it help. It is more we need to do with some kind of intrinsic motivation because it will give us more self-satisfaction. On the other hand, it boosts happiness. As I was telling you, it will create more peace in ourselves. And also it improves our body image in a such like maybe we don't get into body shaming. We try to accept as one, accept ourselves, right? So we try to unconditionally accept yourself in spite of pain or something. So that also helps us to improve our body image as well. On the other hand, it also enhances self-worth, resilience, and also help us to reduce mental health problems, anxiety, depression, and stress. Now, though, we also need to remember some of the tips. Is like self-compassion is a practice of goodwill, not good feelings. That refer to the thing like we need to be self-compassionate for not suppressing our emotions, but expressing them in such a way that we can learn from it, we can grow from it, and also mindfully accept the movement is painful. For this thing, I'll be sharing you a takeaway in your emails after this webinar so that you can have an exercise to it because it has audio and video that will make you to understand better. And also, as I was telling you, it was based on self-compassion is based on interrelatedness rather than being separatedness. So it involves love and connections, giving ourselves the support and comfort needed to bear the pain, and also providing optimal conditions for growth and transformation. I hope it's clear for you. And so, would you like to play a video that I have sent you that will make everyone clear about what is actually self-compassion mean? So, are you there?
Sir, please unmute yourself.
Please stop sharing your screen and I'll start this video. Just a second. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
What is self-compassion? A nice simple definition of self-compassion is treating yourself with the same kindness and concern that you would give to a good friend in need. When you're in a tough situation, you've fallen short of your own expectations, it's responding from a place of kindness instead of harsh criticism. It's like emotional first aid when you're having a hard time. To understand self-compassion, it's helpful to know that the Latin roots of the word compassion mean to suffer with. When you have compassion for someone, you suffer with them. You're there for them. You do your best to help them get through the challenge they're facing. So with self-compassion, it just means you're there for yourself. You can count on being a friend to yourself instead of acting like an enemy, which sadly is what happens sometimes. In fact, let's imagine two friends named Taylor and Alex. And Taylor tells Alex that her boyfriend just broke up with her. Taylor is hurting. What does she need? What if Alex said to her, "Wow, you're such a loser. You were only with him for 2 weeks. He probably started realizing what a mess you are. You should go binge watch Netflix by yourself." Ouch, that would be pretty harsh, right? The problem is that our own minds will often throw out those same kinds of harsh criticisms of ourselves. And if we're not aware of what's going on, it's easy to start believing those unhelpful thoughts. And that can lead to a downward spiral of self-doubt. That's discouraging for sure, but it can also be paralyzing, keeping us from doing the good things that we want to do in life. But think of what Alex would say if she were a good friend to Taylor. She'd sit with her, she'd offer support, encouragement. She'd say things like, "Girl, sucks, but I'm here for you. This doesn't change how amazing you are. Hey, let's go dancing with friends." That's just what self-compassion can do for you. Self-compassion means developing a healthy awareness of our thoughts and emotions and being willing to give yourself what you really need to move through a challenge. And that starts with just some basic kindness when you need it most. And here's the core of self-compassion that I really want you to understand. Kindness and acceptance isn't something you have to earn for yourself. You are already completely deserving of love and acceptance because of your incalculable worth as a human being. Now, do you notice any resistance in your mind to that idea? If so, we're going to work with that. Or maybe you do believe in your inherent worth, but in the heat of a challenging moment, you're still really hard on yourself. We're going to work with that too. Think of the power that will come into your life when you can be just as good at being kind to yourself as you are to others you love. The poet Rumi wrote, "Our task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it." Learning the skill of self-compassion helps you break down the barriers to love, both for yourself and others. And doing this increases your power to thrive. Are you ready to learn how to do this? We're going to practice together, and I promise if you do, this will get easier. Peace.
Over to you. Unmute, please.
So I hope the video was clear for you and it made you a better clarity that what is actually self-compassion. Would anyone like to respond that what was the inference, what was the interpretation you got from this video? Okay, so let me go ahead with Parvati. So are you able to see my screen now?
No, no. Like
Okay.
I'm able to see you, but not the, yeah, now it's.
Now it is. So.
Yeah,
Parvati,
so
you can start now.
yeah, a very good evening to everyone. Hope you're all safe and doing good. And thank you, Sputi, for a wonderful explanation on self-compassion, followed by a very interesting exercise. Now we move on to another interesting topic, that is optimism. Before we move on to the topic, I would request everyone to take a sheet of paper and list any 3 tasks that you must have done with a full positive mindset and being hopeful about completing that task successfully. Similarly, mention any 3 tasks that you have done with a so-called negative mindset and not being much hopeful about completing it successfully. So you have 30 seconds. You don't have to share it with me, but you can keep it for yourself later as we progress with the topic. I hope it will create an awareness within you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Actually, the thing is that you have asked that we need to write three positive tasks which we have
Yes.
done with a positive mindset, and the
No,
other
any
one is
task.
with negative.
Yes, a task, any task, it could be even a small task or a big task, which you have done with a positive mindset or hopeful about completing that task successfully, having a
Okay.
hope. Similarly, any a
Okay.
task that you have done with a kind of negative mindset or not being much hopeful about completing that task.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Hope you're all done with it. Can we proceed?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Next slide. Yeah. So now coming to the topic of optimism. So Martin Seligman, who is called as the father of positive psychology, has defined optimism as reacting to a situation or a problem with a high sense of confidence and high personal ability. So what he says that while we are dealing a particular problem or a situation, optimistic people tend to have a sense of confidence that they can do it better. They have the ability to perform it or to complete the task in a very successful way. So, optimistic people believe that negative events are temporary, limited in scope, and manageable. Meaning, they think that it is only confined to one area of their life rather than thinking that it is going to get spread or it's present across their life. No, rather, they think that it's just temporary, it's a passing phase, and it's still manageable. They can manage with it. Yeah. Next slide. Now, coming to the pessimism, pessimistic, on the other hand, they tend to view problems as internal, unchangeable, and pervasive, meaning they tend to take the blame on themselves for the fault, for the situation which they are not responsible for. And they also think that the situation is not going to change, it's going to be present all the time, and they'll not be in a position to deal with the problems in an effective way. So pessimism has been linked with depression, stress, and anxiety, whereas optimism has been so research says that optimism has been shown to serve as a protective factor against all this depression or anxiety or stress. Now, having known the difference between the optimism and pessimism, hope you're all clear about the basic concepts of what optimism and pessimism is. Okay, we would move on to the another topic, that is the benefits of being optimistic. The first benefit is improved health. So the research shows that having an optimistic mindset even improves a debilitating illness called cancer, where the patients have shown a significant improvement both before and after that treatment. So doesn't sounds very interesting, and also it shows that having just a positive mindset can even cure a debilitating illness called cancer. Also, optimistic individuals tend to be more aware of their health status, and they tend to prefer and they tend to be with what they are. Spooty, the screen is not very clear. Yeah. And they tend to take a more approached focus method of dealing with the situation. And rather than ignoring the situation or trying to run away from it or withdraw the situation, they try to seek a practical support or reinterpret a situation in a more practical way so that they can deal with it in a more productive and effective way. The second benefit is motivation and performance. So optimism has been linked to higher level of motivation to do a task, and also make the person or prepare the person to endure in a stressful circumstances, and it makes them to be more goal oriented. And studies also revealed that it improves the employees overall well-being, happiness, and in the workplace, and also it allows them to have the high level of perseverance, decision making efficiency would improve, and they tend to be more solution focused rather than problem focused. And the third benefit is career success, which is one of the important component in our life. And having an optimistic mindset leads to job satisfaction, again, high level of perseverance, and also there are high chances that people secure high marks, having a positive mindset. Now, having discussed about the basic difference between optimism and pessimism and the benefits of being optimistic, now let's see how to improve optimism. Here, there are certain roadblocks that prevents us from having a positive thinking or a positive mindset. So these roadblocks, I would rather call it as 3 Ps, or a kind of a thinking error, which we all come across, or which you all experience from time to time. So the first P is personalization. Here, we blame ourselves for something which we are not responsible for. We take the failure on ourselves and try to personalize the outcome. I would give you a very simple example. When a child performs poorly in class or tries to misbehave, the mother tends to think that, oh, it's because of me. My upbringing is not proper. I did not train the child properly. Rather than considering the other factors, that there could be many other reasons which made the child not to perform properly, like the teacher might have not guided the child in an appropriate way, or the child must be unwell before the exam, or there must be other situation where other child could have inappropriately behaved with this child, that made the child to reciprocate to his behavior. So without considering all other factors, here the mother tries to put the blame on ourselves by thinking that her upbringing is not good or it's not correct. Whereas the optimist here rather they try to externalize the situation, and they say that, okay, this time it's fine, I have done a mistake, but next time I'll do it better. So this is the basic difference between an optimistic and pessimistic. The next P is pervasiveness. So what pervasiveness refers to is it describes the global or specific element of adversity or a negative event. So taking one specific example or situation, we consider it to an overall pattern. So as you see the picture below, instead of, it's clearly written that instead of saying that I screw up all the time, say I screwed up this time. So pervasiveness is people with this kind of a thinking error, they take one particular situation and try to overgeneralize it to all the areas of life. So as the example clearly says that a student getting a low grade in one particular test or an exam thinks that, oh, he's a failure and is going to perform in a similar way in all the other coming exams, in all the tests. So instead of considering it as one particular thing or a temporary element, he tries to overgeneralize it to all the areas of his life. So the concept of always is more evident here. And the third P is permanence. They think that rather than thinking that the situation is a passing phase or fleeting, they think it is as a lasting and a permanent. It's never going to be changed. So pessimistic people thinks that I'm a terrible dancer and always going to be like that. It's just not going to change. Whereas optimistic thinks that, okay, I did not dance well this time because my leg is not well, I'm not keeping good health, I got a sprain, but next time I'll do it better. So this is the basic difference between this optimistic and pessimistic. So the key takeaway here is that the situation and the circumstances are not fixed or unchangeable. Keeping in this mind, I hope it's very easy for us to develop a positive attitude within ourselves. Now we proceed to the activity. So there are two activities for you. One, just a second, Spurti, the before slide. Yeah, so this activity, there are two activities. One is as a takeaway for you, which we would be providing a couple of days post the webinar. And the next activity, tapping into your inner optimist, which you will be doing it during the webinar itself. Yes, next slide. So the first activity, which is thought record form, I will give you a brief explanation of what all this is about. And believe me, it does wonders when you are feeling low. So there are basically 6 columns. So in which there are date and time, situation, automatic thoughts, emotions, alternative thoughts, and outcome. So you can mention the date and time. So I'll explain you by giving a very hypothetical and a very easy example where you can relate it yourself. So date, for example, today is 7th and the date and the time can be 2 o'clock in the afternoon. A situation is I'm studying for the exam. Okay, the automatic thought is I will fail in the exam, the paper is going to be tough. And the kind of belief that you attach to each thought could be around on a scale of 0 to 100 or on a scale of 0 to 10. It depends on what you feel comfortable about. So 0 being on the lower side and 10 or 100 being on the higher side. So here, if a person is having a thought that I will fail in the exam, the belief that he attaches to that particular thought could be around 8%. And the paper is going to be tough. The belief towards this thought could be around 9%. And the kind of emotions that the person is experiencing could be sadness, anxiety, and depression. Okay, and the level and the intensity of their they experiencing the emotions could be again on a scale of 0 to 10 or 0 to 100, as I just explained before. So their sadness could be on a level of 8%, and their anxiety could be around 9, and depression could be around 5. Now this is the fifth column is an interesting one. Having written down your thoughts or your automatic thoughts that keeps popping to your mind, now you try to evaluate these thoughts by asking few questions to your own self. So what are those questions? The questions are, what evidence is there to support this thought? Which thought that I will fail? To support that automatic thought. So when you ask yourself, you will get an answer that yes, because the exams are not yet come, is just going to come, and you really don't know whether you're going to fail or not. So just an anticipatory thing. So your mind is trying to anticipate on those factors. So you probably can write that, yes, there is no evidence that I'm going to fail. And the next is, what is an alternative explanation for for that you can give for this thought that I will fail. So probably you can say that, yes, I have, there is no evidence. Since there is no evidence that I'm going to fail, I'm preparing my best for the exam, and I'm pretty sure that I can go through, I can get well. And if in case, if I'm not able to get the marks that I have aimed for, it's okay. Next time I'll try my best. So this is a kind of alternate explanation that you can give for yourself. Then coming back to the last column, that is outcome. Now you can re-rate your thought. You re-rate your original thought, that is, I will fail. So initially it was 8%. After evaluating this, there are many chances, there are high chances that your belief towards the original thought would come down. So if it is 8%, it can come down to 6% or 5%. Similarly with the emotions, if it is you're sad, when you're sad was 8%, after evaluating your thoughts, it would come down to say again 6% or 5%. Again, it depends from people to people. So in this way, if you try to note down your thoughts and try to evaluate it, you get a more clarity, and the way you are thinking or your thought process gets modified in a more productive way. And this is the activity all about, which is a takeaway for you. And if you have any doubts with this activity, please make a note, and during our discussion time, we would be happy to answer your queries. We move on to the next exercise, which I would request everyone to do it during the webinar. So again, take a sheet of paper, and so I'll just briefly explain to you, though it's quite self-explanatory. So the first one is tapping into your inner pessimist. So what were some things that annoyed you this week? You can list any 2 things that might have annoyed you this week, over this last week. And what difficulties did you face at work? It can be either 1 or 2 you can mention. The second step is take a more positive, optimistic approach to viewing your week. That is, what were some things that made you really happy and joyful about? The next, what is one thing that made you proud of yourself this week? And the last step is evaluate your experience. It gives you a reflection prompt, such as how did it feel for you to have an optimistic frame of mind, and what did you notice and what did you learn? Sir, I would request you to take a screenshot of these 2 slides and give it to the participants so that they can go and they can go to their breakout rooms and do this. Sir, you're on mute.
Would you like to break out, because we are 9 participants at the moment, and these 2 screens are presentable. So shall I still break into 2 rooms?
If they are comfortable without breakout rooms, I don't have any issues.
All right.
So
both the slides are visible, and we have limited numbers only. So let's carry on with the questions on this.
Okay. Completing this task, you have between 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Proceed further.
hope everyone completed.
Let's proceed further, Parvati.
Yeah. Yes, now we have completed with this optimism, the concept of optimism. Now over to Spurti.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay. So what does gratitude refer to? So gratitude in simple terms, I would say it is something to be, we are thankful or grateful to something. For this kind, I thought of doing an activity here. So it's nothing but I just want to just take out a sheet of paper and start asking some of the questions like, how many times in a week did you thank your taxi driver or milkman or a gardener? Or the small things that you felt like I need to thank that things also. I'll give you 30 seconds so you can just complete it, and if anyone wants to share, they can share it. So I hope that everyone has done it. Can we proceed further?
So would you like
Yes,
to
you can proceed.
this, from anyone?
Okay, so would anyone want to share about the activity that I've given? Or okay, fine. We'll keep it in the discussion time. If people are comfortable, then they can speak at that time. Now let us understand what you understand by gratitude. So as I was telling you, I felt like this activity will make you to understand that gratitude is not something that we need to owe or to something big. We need to start appreciating the small things that are around it. So he tells, according to Cicero, he tells that gratitude is much more, is greatest virtue, and it is also mother of all remaining virtues because it can be dated back to our historical times, like also our religious times, like hello. Okay, so because because it has been dated back in our religious traditions like Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism, because we always encourage that cultivating gratitude is an important moral virtue. For example, I would like to give no offense, like, but I just want to, as a Hindu, I would like to tell that we pray before food. We pray something is like we give naivet. So why can't we think it as something we are thankful for? We are here, so these are the small things we can start noticing here and now, right? So this is what gratitude tells us. And it is also an emotion because our virtue, our moral sentiment, our motive, and a positive response and attitude. So it combines all of the skills, and it is an emotion, it is a coping response, and also sometimes you know that gratitude is also used by some of the for clients because they try to don't give, they don't try to appreciate themselves. On this point, I would like to tell that gratitude always has three components. One is recognition, other one is acknowledging it, and other one is appreciating. So what does that it refer to? So as I was telling you, recognition means that we need to start recognizing the things that are here and there. The second one, we try to acknowledge it. For example, if you felt like I should thank a milkman because he is delivering milk for every day, so why can't we go and tell it? So I feel this is the most difficult part. Then it's like we need to start appreciating and we need to cultivate the habit of attitude in our daily life. So these are the components of gratitude, and I hope it's clear. Now let us go into the benefits of gratitude. So as I was telling you, it encourages to appreciate what is good in our lives and compel us to pay this goodness forward. And people who have greater dispositions say that they are being happier and more satisfied with their lives. And it also ensures that we are gratitude is form of something like when we imagine festivals, we try to give some kind of gifts. It's a form. Why can't we think it's a form of thank you or something grateful we are giving to them? So that it helps us to bonding our relationships. It include creating new friendships, enriching our existing relationship, and underlies the very foundation of human society. And interesting, I found that this is very interesting because it is said that a 2009 study from National Institutes of Health said that hypothalamus, the part of our brain that regulates our several body functions, is activated when we feel gratitude or kindness. That's proven like it is also important to function us in our daily lives. Yeah, and this is another activity I would like to tell through this. What does this activity involves? Like I was telling you to get some color papers, right? Color papers and color pens. So you might be wondering why I did that. So the reason was that, and also a gratitude, also a jar, because I wanted to make you understand, like, why can't we keep jar? Like what we do is like happiness jar. So why I thought like why can't we keep a gratitude jar now? So we'll start imagining, just sit for before sleep or sometime when you are in free time, you can start asking like today was special because why I was grateful for today. For example, I am grateful because I am presenting this webinar. That's why it is an important day for me. And I appreciate this person. Why? Because I appreciate my family. I'm just telling my example so that you can able to connect better. So because they have given me enough support to present this webinar. Something I accomplished today, maybe not. Maybe after this webinar, I feel okay. I have achieved something. I have learned something new, and also I shared something new information to the people around. And other win is like something about today that I always want to remember. So what is the thing you want to learn? It's like, and you want to implement in your whole lifetime. So, and of course, I just took out some viewpoints, but you can customize this as far as you can, as per your choice. And I'll also be sharing a customizable worksheet where you can start customizing this worksheet also. You can download that worksheet and start working on it. Parvati, would you like to go ahead?
Yes, yes, yes. So, yeah, everyone. So again, once again, thank you, Spooty, for a very crisp and a very beautiful explanation on what gratitude is, followed by a very interesting exercise. Now we move on to the next topic, that is mindfulness. So mindfulness is, we all must have heard about the word meditation, and you're quite familiar with that word, isn't it? So let's have a understanding about where did this mindfulness actually come from. A brief history about mindfulness. So vipassana meditation, vipassana is a Sanskrit word, is one of the India's most ancient meditative techniques, and this was rediscovered by Gautam Buddha 2500 years ago. And vipassana in Pali, that is means insight. So it is basically to see things as they really are in their true perspective and in their true nature. So vipassana meditation is also known as insight or awareness or mindfulness meditation. So now going to the meaning of what mindfulness is all about. Mindfulness meditation involves expansion of the situation of the attention or awareness to become aware of the ongoing sensations, feelings, images, thoughts, sound, smell, and so on without becoming involved in thinking about them. So put it in a nutshell, I would say that whatever experiences that you are undergoing with, be aware of it, be it in terms of feelings or thoughts or sounds or smells, anything. Be aware of what's happening around you at the same time without getting involved in what you are thinking about it, by without passing any judgments about whether it is right or wrong or good or bad. Just observe what's happening within your mind or what's happening within you. The another definition which is given by John Kabat-Zinn is mindfulness is paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. this is quite similar to what I explained just now. So you pay attention to something on purpose, that you focus on the present, that is in the here and now, and also being non-judgmental towards the experience that you are going through. So these are the 4 pillars, I would say, of mindfulness, which is quite similar to what I've explained, but I would like to explain it once again, because understanding the concept of mindfulness is very imperative. The first pillar, I would say, is paying attention, which is listening, watching, or considering what naturally exists. Just paying attention to what's happening around you, and on purpose, like intentionally increasing your awareness of the experience, and be in the present moment, neither thinking about the past or anticipating about the future. Just be in the present moment, or in the here and now. And most important is non-judgmentally, without thinking or without giving any judgments to your own self, that okay, this thought is a wrong thought, or it's a bad thought, it's not a correct thought. No, be it in a positive or negative, just observe what's happening within you, just accept what's happening within you. This is all is what mindfulness is about. Now we'll go to what mindfulness is not. It is not trying to relax, it's not a religion, it's not something we try, it's about transcending some ordinary life. It's not difficult. I mean, it comes only by practice, it doesn't comes overnight. And most important thing to understand is it's not emptying our mind out of thoughts, and it also not to escape from pain. Even though we have thoughts, we as human beings do not have any control over our thoughts. So even though we have numerous thoughts, just observe those thoughts, accept it, be aware that they are there, and try to be as a third person. So here I would like to give an analogy. See, when you go through the beach, when you go to a beach, you just observe the waves, right, coming near you, or you enjoy the waves. So similarly, you just be observe as a third person what's happening within your mind, and experience it without giving any judgment. So be as an impartial spectator. Now, going to the benefits of mindfulness. What are the benefits of practicing mindfulness meditation? The first thing is, yes, it reduces our stress, thereby increasing the positive effect and decreasing the negative effect. The second is rumination. So we all have know that to a certain extent that depressive patients suffering from depression or having depressive features tend to ruminate a lot about the past. They have a high sense of guilt feeling within them. But practicing mindfulness would help them to focus on the here and now aspect, thereby reducing their level of rumination, which in turn reduces their depressive symptoms. Focus, yes, practicing mindfulness meditation helps us to improve our level of attention and concentration level. The next benefit is less emotional reactivity. So by practicing mindfulness meditation, we are more into the present moment. We try to more focus on the present, and the reaction time to the situation from us would get reduced. We think, we pause for a while and then react, without reacting immediately, or without I would rather say impulsively reacting to a situation. And the last one is relationship satisfaction, yes, which is another important component. So studies have also shown that people practicing mindfulness or being mindful about in their relationship helps to predict a better relationship satisfaction. And also people, it also helps them to have the ability to respond well to any stressful situation in their relationship, especially when it comes to a partner. So having discussed about what mindfulness and the benefits of it and everything, we come to a very interesting point, that is mindfulness exercise. So there are many exercises. So depending on the time, we will proceed further. We'll proceed to each exercises. First, I would like to go with mindful walking. So it's nothing but you is mindful walking is you be in the present moment when you're walking, without thinking that, oh, what you want to do the next moment, or what you have done in the morning. Oh, I've done this breakfast, it did not turn out well. I did this dish for my husband, but he just did not like it. No, just without thinking anything about it, just be in the present moment. Just feel the breeze, just enjoy the moment that you are. Hear the chirping of the birds, the sounds of the birds. Enjoy the I would say, the trees around you, the nature around you while you're walking, and experience the breeze that comes towards you. And this is all about mindful walking. And feel the touch of your feet onto the floor or onto the road that you're walking. So all this, be in the present moment and experience what you're doing. And believe it or not, this is my personal experience, which I have practiced in walking, and it does wonders by making ourselves feel good about it. The second is grounding techniques. Here, I would like everyone to participate and give their responses. So this grounding technique, I would rather call it as in a ratio, that is 5:4:3:2:1. So I would like everyone to observe any five things, to see rather, see any five things around you, hear any four things around in your surrounding, smell three things, touch two things, and taste one. I repeat, see five things, hear four, um, smell three, touch two, and taste one. So you have 50 seconds to do this. You can even give your response in the chat box.
Parvati, can you please repeat again?
Yes. So any five things that you see around wherever you are right now,
Yes.
any things that you hear, any three that you smell, any two that you touch, and any one that you taste.
Okay, so I would like to share.
Yes.
Okay, so the five things I see is the screen in front of me, paintings behind the screen on my wall. I see my notebooks lying around. I see my colors lying around. I see my timetable stuck on pasted on a table, pasted on the wall, and yes, that's it. One more thing, yes, there is one. What do we say? Those bright lights, fairy light. A little distant from my room, I can see that. Four things which I hear is I hear you, I can hear the TV. My parents are watching, so I can hear what are they watching. I can hear some bells which are ringing in the vicinity. And the fourth thing which I can hear is some vehicles passing by. So the three things which I smell is the tea and some snacks which my mom is making. So I can smell those, and one more thing, something sweet. Yes, some sweet perfume. Yes, that's very distinct to my mother. So I can smell that. Two things which I touch: the paper in my hand and the laptop screen, the laptop keyboard. One thing I can taste, even if I haven't had it, because I can smell it, because that snack my mom is making. So I haven't eaten it, but yes, I can taste that in my mouth. I can have the taste in my mouth.
Okay. Thank you, Priya. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. Would anyone like to share their experience? Okay. So, Priya, I would like to hear from you that what did you learn from this after doing this exercise, and how did you feel about it?
It brought all my focus into the present. So because I have to be in the present awareness of what all I am seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, and tasting. So I got
Okay.
distracted from whatever I was thinking, and it got my awareness into present.
Yeah, there you go. So this exercises helps us to use all our five senses and to be in the present moment, and helps to focus us to be in the here and now aspect. So the next exercise is another interesting exercise. Hope everyone has got a raisin or a piece of chocolate or even any small eatable in your hand, so that to make this exercise more interesting, which is called as raisin meditation. I would like request others also to participate and give their response so that this webinar becomes more interactive rather than we speaking. You can give your response even in the chat box. Do anyone got any raisins or a biscuit or a chocolate, anything? No one? Is it possible for anyone to get anything, a piece of a chocolate or a raisin if you have it home, or even if it's cashews also is fine, almonds or cashews, anything that is should we wait for this exercise or should we proceed?
So Priya,
Yes, it's fine.
I think you
Anything.
can put that tasty thing which is getting ready at your place.
Yes, chat box has some messages.
Yeah,
can,
Rohini.
Yes, I can feel the texture of cashews and feel the taste of it. Rohini, fennel seeds. Yes, fennel seeds are good too. I have uh, that gajar ka halwa my mom is preparing. So yes, I have.
Yeah, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So it's all about mindful eating, which is being termed as raisin meditation. If you are ready with it, at least if some of you are ready with some eatable in their hand, I hope we can start with the process. Just let me know.
Rohini, have you got your fennel seeds? Yes, she has. Let's proceed. Parvati, let's proceed.
Yeah, so here basically I would be giving instructions based on a raisin, but the same applies to any eatable that you have at your hand. Okay, so we will begin. So notice how you are sitting. First of all, get seated yourself in a comfortable position, and notice how you are seated, how your feet are making contact with the floor, how comfortable you are sitting on the chair, and feel the sensations of coolness around you. Then slowly start paying attention to your breath without manipulating it. Observe the pause in between your breath. If you feel like closing your eyes, you can. If you wish to open, you keep your eyes open. That's also fine. Pay attention to your breath without manipulating it. Observe the pause in between your breath. Now, pay attention to the eatable that you have in your hand, be it a raisin or anything else. Look at it as if you're looking at it for the first time in your life. Or pretend for a moment that you are never seen it before. It has got many wrinkles, it has got many cuts or shapes, many different kinds of, I would say, indentations within it, and it looks different whether you are looking at it from the either sides. Try to rotate the eatable that you have in your hand in all the directions. Now, observe its color, feel it in your fingers as you touch it. Roll it around in your fingers. Smell it and detect if you can smell it or if it has got any specific smell. Now slowly take it and bring it to your mouth. Don't rush. Place on your lips, then into your mouth, between your teeth. Roll around your mouth for some time without chewing it. Roll around to the different parts of your mouth. When you feel ready, gently tap it with your teeth and gently start chewing it. Start breaking it into pieces. Start experiencing its flavor. Keep rolling without completely chewing it. Keep taking small bites and ear the bites. Feel the flavor, taste the flavor, and observe your chewing process for some time.
And for children also.
For children, Mike.
Sorry? Feel the eatable in your mouth, tasting the flavor, feeling its texture, hearing the sounds of your bite for some time. Observe the pieces getting smaller and smaller and getting into your windpipe and then into your stomach. Keep experiencing to feel the taste of it in your mouth and tongue. When you feel ready, take a sip of water. Feel the coolness of water as you swish it around your mouth and swallow that. Feel the coolness of the mouth throughout, feel the coolness of water throughout your mouth. And again, that water going through your windpipe and to the stomach. Feel the coolness throughout the mouth till your stomach. Enjoy the present moment, cherish the present moment where you are. Hope you're all done with this. Hope you're all done with this exercise of mindful eating. If so, I would request everyone to share their experience. How did you feel? What did you learn? Can give your response in the chat box as well. Anybody would like to share their experience? Rohini, what about you?
Yeah, I can. So basically, actually, what I did, I just finished those fennel seeds beforehand only. Then after that, I
Okay.
realized, oh, I have to do the means that noticing and all these things. So
Mm-hmm.
these, I felt as if these are the small, very
Mm-hmm.
small seeds, but with some kind of magic in it because the flavor is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So and it is so aromatic thing that whenever I eat and after few minutes after finishing it, um, into my breath or uh, around my mouth means inside and even in hands also the smell is there even after washing sometimes hands so
Okay. Okay.
that gives me very good feeling uh,
Mm-hmm.
very light
Mm-hmm.
means since it is very uh, means favorite mouth freshener kind of thing so it's like how it is like a means miracle of nature that in a small seed there is so much fragrance aroma which cannot be done by us like so it was
Mm-hmm.
nice experience and uh, a little bit it was different like when you said that see it as if you are seeing first time so basically this was difficult to understand because I'm used to
Mm-hmm.
it so it was not easy to see it as if I'm looking at first time rotating
Mm-hmm.
and all those things this I
Okay.
had never done before
Okay. Okay.
so
Okay.
this
So
was
thank you, Rohini.
something different for me.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Rohini, for sharing your
Thank you.
wonderful experience. So basically, this exercise is all about again being in the present moment and enjoy your process of eating. So we in this competitive world do not give much importance to the present moment. We either we think about the past or anticipate about the future, or we are all in a rush to do what next. The concept of what next keeps running in our mind throughout, because of which we fail to be in the present moment or enjoy or cherish in the present moment. So all these small exercises, if we start practicing in our day-to-day life, we there are many chances that we can cherish the moment that we are in. Okay, so there's another interesting exercise, and I would ask sir if time permits, we will go with this a small meditation exercises, which is all about again mindfulness. So, Kailash sir, I would ask your concern. What's your opinion on this?
Another maybe 2-3 minutes.
I think, sir, it's 4 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes.
All right. I think all in the family. So we are all here. Can definitely do it.
Okay. So if you click on the link, it would directly take you to the website, because I couldn't really download the video neither the audio.
So we just put this link onto the chat box. It will be easier for all
Okay.
because this is not clickable.
Spooty, are you able to do it? Can you copy paste?
I think
Sorry, your voice.
let's skip this because it is not it is not clickable. Let's move over to the
Okay. Okay. So yes, everyone, the platform is open to you all, and we all can discuss. And if you have any queries, we would be happy to answer your queries.
So I would put my couple of takeaways. I think both of you have presented it very comprehensively. There is a lot of takeaways if we want to gather them. But to me, I think the four areas which you focused largely was compassion, optimism, gratitude, and mindfulness. And I think all of these things relate to you being into a positive mindset. So everything I think boils down to if you are having some failures or some hiccups in your job or profession or anything, I think it is not to be generalized that you are good for nothing. So you have to self compassionate to yourself that things. Never mind. I mean, we'll try again, and maybe things will be better. So that is the first thing, and you have to possibly in even in the severity cases, you have to accept that situation and move ahead. So that is the first takeaway that I see there, and optimism, of course. You can't be moving ahead if you are not optimistic. So whatever happens for the better is the attitude that one has to carry, and with that only I think you can move forward. Because if you have a baggage of past thinking and overthinking in terms of future, then obviously things will not work out. But if you are with a positive mindset, things can be better because you are self energized to move ahead with a positive attitude. And of course gratitude. So every day if you can possibly jot down, or the jar that you said that you can put it in your jar which you have, whatever help or gratitude you have with anyone who is helping you, or whom you think that you should be grateful to. If you can do it every day basis, then that much more I think you will feel better in terms of acknowledging and appreciate the people around you who have done good to you, and obviously internally you will feel better by appreciating those guys. And lastly, but not the least, as you did some exercises on mindfulness, I think that those small exercises, but the message which they are trying to give is that you have to be in present, enjoy what is there in front of you, be it keep your senses open, and all your five senses, and try to kind of enjoy every moment presently you are experiencing, and you have to be in that situation and not having the past baggage again, and while doing and enjoying those things. So if you combine these four, I think they will definitely lead to a positive wellness, and that is what I think we should take away. Is my takeaway. Yeah. Over to you, Parvati.
If anyone wants
Exactly, sir.
to share.
So all these things, if we start practicing within in our day-to-day lives gradually, we can see a better result in the long run.
Mm,
Else I would like to.
It was a wonderful webinar, and I really missed the participation, the opportunity to participate because I was driving. I've just reached home.
No problem.
I
No
wish we could
problem. Your
do
quick
something like
comments, Bahadur
that
Singh,
again.
your quick inputs would help, because I think there was. Could you just comment quickly onto whatever you could hear or gather onto this?
I could literally hear everything. It was all clear. Sounds were all clear. And started with your positivity, self-compassion, and this positive attitude, and then living in present all the time. So really, it was all wonderful. But I missed that participation part.
No problem. No problem.
Because
So
I was
we'll keep having you in our future webinars, sir. And thank you for being here, and thanks for participating.
Thank you, sir. Definitely.
So Priya, over to you. I think you can seek inputs from rest of members who are here, and we move further.
Yes. wonderful webinar, and the topics and the activities, especially the activities, is how we practice these things which are theoretically being described by very famous psychologists. And nothing could have been better to learn these activities, because pandemic has highlighted that there are some activities which we really need to practice every day. There is so much chaos around us, there is so much negativity around us. Everywhere we look, even the newspaper, TV, social media, the people who are talking amongst themselves have something negative to discuss about. So initiatives like these bring forward the topics and the concerns and how to practice them, because there have been multiple researches on similar topics, and it has been over and over, it has been highlighted that these practices does increase your sense of positive well-being. You are more connected to yourself. If you are more in touch with yourself, you feel more synchronous with the other things. And if your inner self-care is in right place, you are in a position to share that cup with others. So uh, anybody from our participant, Rohini, Rajshri, ma'am, Shilpa, would like to have some few words before we conclude?
Uh, I can speak.
Yes,
Am I
please.
audible?
Yeah, you're
Okay,
audible.
so yes, I want to say that this webinar was like a in short, like it's a kind of training program which I found, like some of the theory, then after that practical, which we can do on our own, and not so difficult also. Even this can be done all the days of the year. Like it's like a self care, part of self care, and how we can keep a note on ourselves, like when we are feeling down. So how we have to means how we can uh, proceed for the next task, because sometimes it happens that these are the things which stop us and demotivate us, and even we don't feel like taking the step which we are supposed to do at that time. So the moment which is very important, we leave that moment like that only, and it's just uh, means it's not like that that time is wasted, but sometimes it's like it's important to take a break, examine, see the things as they are, and then proceed further. This one was the like a sequence: number one, number two, number three, the exercises. So these sequence were very well arranged. Like I can do this uh, uh, dividing them throughout my day, like morning something, in between, after having lunch something, then before sleeping. So like journaling, people do journaling also. So this gratitude part is I have read 2 days back only, that it helps in having a good sleep when we practice gratitude thing before sleeping, and we have very nice morning, like fresh and a very light kind of thing. So thank you so much for this webinar. It was nice experience.
Thank you, Rohini, for your valuable points. And yes, the activities are going to be the prominent takeaway, and which cannot be practiced just in the webinar, but can also be practiced anywhere and does not require anything. So whenever we feel anxious and we feel distracted, the grounding exercise could bring us in the present. Whenever we feel that we are not being compassionate, we are offering a lot of love and support to others but not to ourselves, we can just switch side and see where and how we are being with ourselves. Are we do we need to be more present or more compassionate when we are talking to ourselves? And those words of self-care and empathy, does really well uh, to our neurology as well, because when we speak kinder words to ourselves, it the neural pathways are formed in a way that a sense of safety is created in our body and our mind. So that brings our shifts away from the trauma mindset. So wonderful points, Rohini. Anybody else who would like to share their takeaways? Shilpa has unmuted herself.
Yeah. Hi, Priya. Sorry, I couldn't participate in the activities. I'm a bit outside. But I loved how much effort all our panelists had put, and the gratitude and mindfulness. Of course, we all ignore these simple things in life, right? I think the whole point is that the things that make you happy and content are free in life, and we all need to really, appreciate what we have. We show gratitude, show compassion, and you know uh, mend relation give importance to self-care, like self-compassion we talked about. Self-care is self-love. So all those points were greatly put across. And as a fellow career coach, we all want, our goal is same, but we cannot may touch lives unless we all also follow what we are teaching, right? And it is imperative for us to understand that you can only preach what you follow, right, at the end of the day. So I wish success, all the best to everyone. And it is a we try to create that ripple effect from one to all. If we touch one life, we have touched millions in that, the domino effect it may have in a positive way. So thank you, ladies. Wonderful, wonderful. And looking forward to more such seminars and webinars. And bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Shilpa, for your amazing points. And yes, these exercises are very simple. That is the essence of it. The most things which in our life which are helpful for us are not complicated. Those are the simple and the minute things which give a big effect, not just to us, but to others as well. So before I conclude, anybody else who is in the panel and would like to share their points? Rajshri ma'am.
My mentor used to sing a song, मैं ऐसा क्यों हूँ, मैं वैसा क्यों हूँ, मैं जैसा भी हूँ, मैं हूँ. So जिस दिन हमें ये रहेगा कि मैं हूँ, मैं भी नहीं, मैं भी हूँ नहीं हूँ, and that's why we should love ourselves, we should take care of ourselves, and if we love ourselves, that will pave the way to love others and take care of others. Once we are not satisfied with ourselves, we can't help others to overcome their feelings, overcome their trauma. So first we have to help ourselves, take care of ourselves. This is what I want to say today. And since our childhood, we are taught खाना खाओ तो उस पे focus करो. Mindfulness is taught, but we don't follow it in our life. And I think practice makes a man perfect. We can't apply all the techniques at the same time, but yes, we can start and we can do it in due course of time, and it will make our life happy, and it will make us contented. So that's what. And I can't say tea hata do. I can do it, so it will help us. That's what I want to say. Thank you so much. And it was a wonderful presentation and so nicely presented. Thank you, Parvati and Smruti, because a gratitude I must show, and I learned a lot from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Your wonderful comments. Thank you all for your valuable and wonderful comments. And I would like to thank Kailash sir for providing such a golden opportunity, I would say, to for us also. It's a very learning opportunity that we have learned so much in a short span of time. So thank you, sir. Thank you for providing such a beautiful opportunity. And thank you, everyone. And thank you, Priya, for moderating in a very well way. And thank you, other participants. And thank you, Spooty, for a wonderful explanation from your side.
So I would sum it up as gratitude to all of you who have been able to make it to this webinar, which is nicely and comprehensively presented by Spurti and Parvati. And so gratitude to Priya, who has promptly agreed to moderate this at a short notice. And Spurti and Parvati, who have, I think, put in relentless efforts to make these presentation, as well as, content, which is gone, I think, in a very systematic manner. And I hope it is a warm-up session, no matter whatever number of participants, I think, but each of these numbers which are present today, if they are able to get some value, as rightly said by Shilpa and Rashri, that if we have to, deliver goods, we should first exercise and maybe experience and practice ourselves. So thanks to Backup team, who's, I think, wholeheartedly were present and participating, and the participant invitees like Mr. Bahadur Singh ji and others who had joined in between. Gratitude to all of you. Definitely these little inputs which are there, they are connected to your daily life, and it is to make your every day better for yourself. So I think it is for self care, and those things, though we know but we don't follow it, we don't practice it. So I think with these kind of webinars, it is just an awareness that we're trying to generate, that if you take care of small things and you live in present and enjoy them, there is no reason to be unhappy. There is no reason for others to be unhappy, and you can even make your life better and others' life better. So thank you again, all of you. And Priya, you can conclude with word of thanks now, finally, and we close the session.
Thank you, Kailash and the team for this wonderful.
Thank you.
Keep it up. It's really required. It's really required for masses, and we'll try to involve more people next time.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you speakers for their amazing and relevant content, and also activities to make this webinar fruitful and interactive in nature. Thank you, Kailash sir, for organizing and providing us the platform to share our learnings and resources with everyone. So I would end up with a quote by Henry Ford. Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is a progress, working together is success. And with that note, I would like to thank everyone who came together for this topic. And this is just the beginning of one webinar. Hope we gather again and connect again, so that we can move ahead and grow as a family and work together to make this platform and make mental health and emotional wellness successful and approachable for everyone. This is the vision we are working for. So thank you everyone, and have a great evening.
Thank you, and have a
Thank you,
great
Priya.
evening. Bye there.